Alright lads, so today we did get some news regarding our next Guild Quest schedule. In this case, starting from the 21st of April, going all the way till the end of June. And for those that don't know why this is important, it's more so for those that care about Guild Quest scores, because this Guild Quest schedule does give us a hint on what type of characters are coming out, not who the characters will be. But using this one as an example, right, on June 19th, when we are going to get June's mid-month banner, we will have the ranged Stunritter Guild Quest active. So likely that means we are getting a new ranged Stunritter killer. And if you are in need of something like that, for example, to make your Guild Quest team better, well, you might want to start saving for those characters now, because that will be happening June 19th. So for today's video, we're here to have a discussion on what type of characters are coming out over the next 2 or so months, briefly talk about the upcoming mid-month banner, because at least for me, when I'm recording this video, it is happening tomorrow, but I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this. There's a chance the banner might have already been announced, or if I do post it on the 15th, it is happening tomorrow. Before we do talk about the upcoming Guild Quest schedule though, we do have an update regarding the extra wave boss extra levels. So the recent update that we did get around a few months ago in regards to Guild Quest did add the extra waves, and we always knew there was going to be eventually 5 extra waves. But for the time being, there was only 2 extra waves, extra level 1 and extra level 2. Well, going forward from April 21st, there will now be 2 more extra levels, level 3 and also level 4. Now, because we are getting 2 new extra levels, that also does mean that the score we can get is also being increased alongside the rewards. We don't know what the rewards will be, likely more essence scrolls and potentially even more orbs. I think most Guild Quest phases can easily beat extra level 3 and 4, and we do have some data mined information courtesy of Ubatch, where it seems like Caleb aren't going super crazy with the HP values for these extra level bosses, because the upcoming Range Squad 0 Guild Quest only has 100 million HP for extra level 3 and also 4, so they're actually weaker when compared to extra level 2's boss. You know, with the HP increase, these definitely could have gotten out of hand. And if you are able to beat most of these Guild Quest phases, extra level 1 and 2 with like around 30 or so seconds to spare, likely you should have a decent chance of beating extra level 3 and also 4. However, when it comes to the ranged Espada GQ, extra level 3 and 4 does have 120 million. So I'm not too sure what the set in stone HP value is going to be for every upcoming extra level 3 and 4. But it doesn't seem to be super crazy going into the 200 millions, for example. Either way, I'm excited to try out, and we will be streaming that when this does drop on the 21st. With that said though, let's talk about the upcoming Guild Quest phases. So going into it, for the upcoming mid-month banner, which is releasing on the 19th, soon after we will have access to the Ranged Squad 0 Guild Quest and also the Ranged Espada Guild Quest. If we sort by Squad 0 Ranged, as of right now, this is what we are working with, and unfortunately, one bad change that we are seeing for this Guild Quest phase is that the status element pools on the floor are now weakening, which is super ridiculous because the main 3 characters you want to use, Ikaku, Saruchi, and also Shinji, and Shinji is basically the only viable leader besides Macy, who is super limited, by the way. These characters all have freeze resistance because that's been the status element for this particular Guild Quest phase. It's now weakening, which honestly does suck. I don't think that's going to be a permanent change, but at least for this current Guild Quest upcoming phase, it is going to have weakening. So that likely means whatever this upcoming character is going to be, they are going to have weaken resistance. And with that in mind, maybe they are going to be a spiritual pressure unit to replace Shinji, which I don't think Shinji needs replacing, but at the same time, we do need more SP spiritual pressure leads because you're basically only using Shinji. Sure, there is Macy, but when talking about characters like this, we only really want to talk about more available characters. More often than not, new accounts won't have access to Macy or even get the opportunity to summon for her because she is a Burn the Witch unit where they're super limited. So realistically, this Guild Quest phase only has 1 good lead, and right now they have access to 2 good normal attack damage characters, that being Ikaku and also Saruchi. They definitely can go for a new normal attack damage character because we are fine with Shinji in all honesty, because this Guild Quest phase has access to no normal attack damage characters with a team boost. So I could see this upcoming Squad 0 character killer go either way. Either a normal attack damage character with a team boost or a SP spiritual pressure unit, and either way, they are going to be good. This upcoming mid-month should be a premium banner. if I am uploading this on the 15th, I'll give some hints on what the characters could be at the end of the video, because I'm pretty sure I do know what the characters are. That's why I'm not doing a prediction video. But yeah, this banner should be a premium banner, so having a potential premium alternative to Shinji honestly doesn't even sound too bad. Likewise, when it comes to the Range Espada GQ. Kind of funny too, because we just recently got a Range Espada killer, and when we did our last Guild Quest schedule, you know, we were saying end of month February, if you are looking for a new Espada killer, is what you want to save for. And we got exactly that with Momo, but she was a normal attack damage character. Having said that, you know, in our previous Guild Quest schedule video, I did say that it was going to once more go either way. This Guild Quest in particular just needs new characters. They need a new spiritual pressure lead, but they also need new normal attack damage characters. And with Momo being our recent addition, and the fact that we are getting the Range Espada GQ once more, I think it's time for Misaki to be replaced. And for her to be replaced by a mid-month premium unit would be kind of funny, but it's definitely possible. Mid-month characters are definitely good, especially when they get Frenzy +3 in GQ. You know, to be fair, so does Misaki. Misaki's actually got some really good skills going for her. It's just her strong attack hit sucks. Now, if you care about good Guild Quest scores, you likely want Misaki replaced, because trying to get a good score with this character absolutely sucks due to the inconsistency of this character's attacks. If you just care about clearing, Misaki's great. Like, she can clear the quest just fine. But going for fast scores is where she kind of struggles and is super annoying to use. So this upcoming mid-month likely is going to feature a Range Espada killer, and more likely it's going to be a spiritual pressure unit to essentially replace or just have additional support alongside Misaki. More often than not, we see a normal attack damage character and a spiritual pressure unit for mid-month, so maybe this upcoming mid-month is going to feature an SP Espada killer and a attack-based Range Squad 0 killer. Now, when it comes to April end of month, likely this is going to be a pretty big banner, because we are getting a stream to specifically announce these new characters, and it is my assumption that the characters that will be revealed are going to be the costume poll characters that we voted for. So with that in mind, this upcoming banner could potentially, seems likely, to either feature a new melee Sniper killer, a ranged human killer, and maybe a ranged no affiliation killer. So if we sort by currently existing melee Sniper killers, this is a bit of a weird one, because we do have access to some, you know, they're not super old. The characters themselves that I'm going to refer to are only like over a year old at this point. 8th Anniversary White, Yachiru, Ichibei, and also Ichigo. Having said that, compared to some of the newer characters, especially an end-of-month character for April, we can easily get better than them. Maybe not Yachiru. It's kind of a weird one, because these characters are also now more widely available. I know a lot of people that have Yachiru Max Transcender, because she has been put into a lot of banners, and with Ichigo and Ichibei, they're also starting to become a tad bit more common. Likely you are going to have them duped out. So if we were to get a new melee Sniper killer, you probably won't even need them, because at 1 out of 5 they might not even make that much of a difference. Because using this character as an example, you know, we recently just got him. He only now started to become a filler, so to get a new character that is technically replacing him, I don't want to say replace, because that kind of makes him seem useless, but a new additional character to use instead of Basby if you don't have him, is kind of strange, because we literally just got him like less than 6 months ago. But in terms of what Basby does offer, we definitely can get better than him, because he does lack Berserker. He's one of those characters that only has Frenzy 3 and more damage to burning enemies, but I mean, it is quite high at 80%. I think the chance of us getting a spiritual pressure character seems high, because it is an end of month banner, and we also, most importantly, just received Gremmy. Now, Gremmy is one of the best normal attack damage characters in the game, especially when it comes to Guild Quest, because he's the only character to have a team boost SA3, which provides your team like 50% attack, focus, and defense increase for like 30 seconds. It's really good. Likely we aren't going to see a normal attack damage character for that upcoming end of month, at least a melee Sniper killer. So if we are to get a melee Sniper killer, it is going to be a spiritual pressure unit. But with that in mind, would you want to pull for that character if you have a max transcended Yachiru? Maybe you would, because you could potentially work together. Wherever the character is going to be, they are going to have status element plus, and with that in mind, you know, just to go with melee captain, when we got access to Senjumaru, we all thought that Senjumaru would replace Yachiru. Technically, she does. You do use Senjumaru in the melee captain guild quest, but you also use Yachiru alongside her, because they can both stack spiritual pressure boosts. and they both can inflict status ailments at the same time and benefit off one another. So we could see the same thing for the melee Serpent guild quest. Whatever this character might be, you might just use them alongside Yachiru and also Gremmy. For ranged human guild quest, we definitely do need another spiritual pressure unit. Our most recent ranged human killer was a normal attack damage character with Hallibell. This guild quest phase, similar to other guild quest phases, just needs more characters in general, but they definitely do need more spiritual pressure leads. Sure, Byakuya is amazing and Byakuya is definitely enough, but not everyone is going to have Byakuya. So we were to potentially see a ranged human killer for end of month April, likely they are going to be a spiritual pressure unit. So if you are someone that is lacking Byakuya but does want to make your human guild quest team better, keep your eye out for end of month April. And while this one isn't guaranteed, to be fair, most aren't guaranteed, we do soon after see the ranged no affiliation guild quest where maybe we are going to get a new spiritual pressure unit. We just got Apache, so we definitely don't need her. But maybe, to be fair, this is going to be queued up when Apache's individual comes out. So maybe we aren't getting a ranged no affiliation killer character anytime soon. It's more so just to promote the individual banner for Apache. I should probably fact check that, but that's my assumption right now. Going into May mid-month, this one's kind of interesting because we have a ranged Soriba guild quest and also ranged Aranka guild quest. Now, I say that's interesting because we recently just got a banner. I mean, it was near the end of last year, but Giselle and also Bambietta released in the same banner, and they both serve the purpose for those guild quest phase as the go-to leads. Bambietta, ranged Aranka, Giselle, ranged Soriba. So having a closer look, it could be a potential time frame indicating that Giselle and Bambietta are going to rerun in the middle of May. That's definitely a possibility. However, when it comes to the ranged Soriba guild quest, it can kind of go both ways. We definitely could get a new normal attack damage character, but then again, I'm not sure how big of an impact they are going to have, especially as a mid-month unit, because right now the go-to team for ranged Soriba is Giselle as the lead, and Giselle has a really good damage output. She's capable of getting very high scores, especially alongside future Society Orihime. Giselle actually makes Orihime better since she does provide a 30% damage buff to technique characters, and then likely you're also pairing Giselle with Gremmy to make Giselle better. This guild quest phase, if you have Giselle and also Gremmy Orihime, doesn't need any additional character. And even if you were to get a new normal attack damage character, unless they have a team boost and their technique, I'm probably not replacing them with Orihime. With that in mind though, if we were, assuming it is a premium banner, if we were to get a new lead, I honestly wouldn't mind that because I do think this guild quest phase needs more than Giselle. Because while yes, we do have access to Gin, we have access to Burn the Witch, Noelle. We also have 7th Annie Ichigo. These characters are falling behind a tad bit, especially with extra level 3 and 4 being introduced. You know, Ichigo struggles enough, and at least when it comes to guild quest competitiveness in S-League, I mean, you pretty much need a full guild of Giselles to stay in S-League because everyone has Giselle apparently. She was that impactful on release when it came to guild quest scores because people were stuck using 7th Anniversary Ichigo. So again, if we were to get a new SP lead, I honestly wouldn't be opposed to that. I likely wouldn't summon on that banner because I have a max transcended Giselle, but more options is never a bad thing, especially a newer option that can maybe compete with Giselle's scores. When it comes to ranged Aranka GQ, this is kind of a weird one. I think they're pretty much fine on normal attack damage characters. Weirdly enough though, they are all technique units. So we have access to Robert, we have also Aizen, and then we also have Noritora. All three of these units are good in my opinion, and we even, to be fair, have Luna Rukia. So we definitely don't need more normal attack damage characters for this phase. But maybe another normal attack damage character would be good. But even then, similar to Giselle, right? The best team for this guild quest phase is Bambietta with the Gremmy support, boosting Quinty damage. And then you can also now pair that with Robert. And Robert is a Quinty, so Robert gets buffed by also Gremmy's damage output. So any new normal attack damage character I don't think would make much of a difference. And even a spiritual pressure unit, would they make that big of an impact that you would want to use that over Bambietta with the support of Gremmy? Not really too sure. Unless they themselves is equipped, then I'm not too sure if you are going to replace Bambietta with whatever this mid-month character could be. But then again, like I said, more options never a bad thing, because other than Bambietta, which to be fair, we can get better, she was kind of a wonky unit on release, with the way they did design her, not giving her a spiritual pressure boost. The alternatives are here again, 7th Annie Ichigo, who at this point is coming close to 3 years old, and then maybe Rukia, who doesn't even do damage on her SA2. Rangiku's good, but she has a wonky strong attack kit, so similar to Range Striper, it can go either either way, either a normal attack damage character or a spiritual pressure unit. For me though, regardless of what it is going to be, I'm not really interested because I'm pretty fine with the team that I do have access to right now. Going into May end of month, which my assumption is going to be our next 1000-year Blood War banner. In all honesty, looking at the Guild Quest phases that are here, unless the characters themselves are cool, I'm likely going to be skipping it. More so to save for the anniversary. Personally, I like to stop summoning after April end of month and save any orb I get till June, because that's when we do get like the anniversary countdown banner, swimsuits, and then also most importantly, save for the anniversary. So maybe in a skippable banner is probably beneficial for someone like me, right, that wants to save orbs. And with that, at least for the purpose of Guild Quest, it does seem like to be a pretty easy skip. Because what we are seeing here, if we have a look at these 3 Guild Quest phases, assuming we are going to get characters in that end of month banner, we have the Ranged Hollow Guild Quest, melee no affiliation, and also melee Quincy. So first up, having a look at the Ranged Hollow Guild Quest, this one, like, no matter what they do for this character, it's going to be a very easy skip for the purpose of Guild Quest, and maybe even assuming they are going to be the Limit Breaker character of the month, what's stopping me once more from just using Gremmy? Gremmy is such a powerful character. I honestly never expected us to get a new ranged hollow killer for quite some time, because like Gremmy is just that guy. He's a premium unit too, so he's more available, and he was also basically given for free with the most recent 100 million download summon ticket, where you can just pick him. If you didn't pick him and you picked another character, well, he's going to be on the 10th anniversary banner. So this character is so broken, we just don't need any new ranged solo killers. And if we do, it's not a character I'm going to be interested in for the purpose of Guild Quest content. I might want to pull the character, because it's a cool character if it is. But at this point, everyone should have Gremmy, and if you don't yet, you will in due time. And even outside of Gremmy, I mean, you know, Ririka is still pretty decent. Nini, a character that not really anyone talks about all too much nowadays, but even Nini was perfectly fine in this Guild Quest phase, capable of getting very high scores. So I don't think this character, whatever this character could be, will be a spiritual pressure unit. If they are, they're not replacing Gremmy. No matter how good they are, they're not replacing Gremmy. If they are a normal attack damage character, that could be somewhat interesting. And I guess they would be good to make, you know, since they are a ranged character, they're more likely to attack the boss quick enough. I guess they would go right alongside Gremmy, especially if they are a Quincy, by the way. This GQ in particular doesn't have a normal attack damage character in quite some time, and they also have no Flurry +2 normal attack damage characters. So likely, end of month May is going to feature a ranged hollow normal attack damage character. Even with the spiritual pressure unit, likely I'm not interested in it, because I don't see how that character is going to make an impact on my Guild Quest scores. And then when it comes to melee no affiliation GQ, because that's potentially happening right after, Onwetsu's great, Yuhabak is great, Shinji's great. Doubt we're going to be getting a spiritual pressure character. It might be a normal attack damage character, where in that case, a normal attack damage character with a team boost would be great to see, because we haven't gotten that in quite some time. One Device serves our normal attack damage character support. He is great as is, and when it comes to a team boost, we are relying on Byakuya and also Soifun. Soifun is great. She's a normal attack damage character. However, she's a novel unit where you don't reliably pull that often, because you're not pulling on novel characters, right? So for me to be somewhat interested in this particular banner, again, just strictly in mind for Guild Quest scores, they would have to be a normal attack damage character, and also specifically have a team boost. Even then, I think I'm fine without them. So again, for me personally, before I even know or see what the end of month of May is going to be, it just seems like a very easy skip when it comes to Guild Quest scores. Which I think is good, because June is probably going to be a very stacked banner. If they do what they did last year, it being a countdown to the anniversary with an anniversary character remake, you know, you're going to have orbs for that. Swimsuit is usually a pretty big banner, and then we do have anniversary in July. So this is actually kind of a good thing, May potentially being a somewhat easy skip for the purpose of Guild Quest scores. I might still summon. If it's a hype character, if it's a hype banner, I might still summon. But right now, I'm likely going to skip it or only do a very small amount of summons. And last but not least, let's talk about June mid-month, because that is the last banner that will be available during this Guild Quest schedule. So in this case, what we are potentially looking at is a ranged Stamritter killer, a melee Squad 0 killer, and potentially a melee Espada killer. So first up, ranged Stamritter killer. In this case, more than ever, this Guild Quest phase needs a new spiritual pressure unit. Because while other Guild Quest phases has some less than ideal options, but options nonetheless, this phase doesn't. It's just Toshiro, and that's it. You're not using Ichigo, you're not using Iba, and you're not using Jushiro. The only viable lead for this Guild Quest phase is Toshiro, and Toshiro Personally, personal bias, I don't like him that much anymore. Mainly because I'm forced to use him for 2 Guild Quest phases, Sternritter and No Affiliation, and this character for me is only special level 1 out of 5. So compared to all my other phases where I've duped out characters, he just seems so underpowered based on my duplicates, and he also doesn't have Killer Plus. So like it's really cool though that he does have 2 killers, Sternritter and No Affiliation, because he has that extra usability. But for individual Guild Quest scores, him not having Killer Plus does hurt his damage a tad bit compared to some of the newer characters that were released alongside him. So if June mid-month was to bring a new ranged Sternritter killer, I'm definitely more inclined to summon on the banner over May's end of month unit. Normal attack damage characters are fine since we do have Candice and she'll rerun during the swimsuit banner. And then we also do have Nana 2 and even technically Askin. So normal attack damage support is fine. We have more NAD characters and options over spiritual pressure leads. So again, using me as an example, right? I have already been wanting, have been kind of hyping up June mid-month because I have an idea on what it could potentially be. But even before that, just going off of last year was a anniversary countdown banner and it did feature a remake of Mugetsu Ichigo. If they do anything similar to that this year, you likely want to have orbs saved for June mid-month just to be safe in case they do something very exciting. And if they do, well, I'm likely pulling, and I'm going to be happy pulling on that banner, because we might now have potentially a new ranged Sternritter killer, which I do think we need. And how I can use that to replace someone like Toshiro, I'm honestly here for it. But even if the character isn't better than Toshiro, I'm still okay with it, because this Guild Quest phase really does need more options. It's basically Toshiro bust. Furthermore, we have the Amelia Squad 0 Guild Quest returning to around that time. I don't think this Guild Quest really needs much. When it comes to spiritual pressure leads, we do have access to Rukia, who's absolutely amazing in that quest. We have Yumichika, who's also pretty decent in that quest, and then also Toshiro. For normal attack damage characters, we have access to Tsukishima, technically Askin and Yukon, but probably not using them, and also Shunsui. I guess we could get another spiritual pressure lead, we could get another normal attack damage character. For me, I personally don't care, because I am perfectly fine using Rukia and also Shunsui paired together alongside a Academy Shuei support to boost their damage by 40%. I'm okay with running that, so if we do get a new Squad 0 killer in this banner, I mean, I likely will be pulling if it's a hype banner, and if I get them, sure, great. If not, I'm probably fine with skipping out on them. And then we do briefly after this Guild Quest phase have the Amelia Sparta killer. This happened on the 26th, so likely we aren't going to see anything featured for this Guild Quest phase. But very similar to Grammy, Kenpachi's good enough. Kenpachi's so broken, we don't need any new Amelia Sparta killer. I'll say it like it is. But with that said, that pretty much covers our current Guild Quest schedule leading up all the way till near the end of June. For me personally, when it comes to saving orbs for upcoming Guild Quest units, if we do get these particular characters, I'm definitely saving for April end of month. I was anyway. That's normally the last banner I summon on before an anniversary, unless I do get baited into summoning on the swimsuit banner, which, to be fair, more often than not has been happening lately. May mid-month seems to be quite the easy skip for me because I have access to Giselle and Bambietta. May end the month also seems to be quite the easy skip, just given off we might be potentially be getting a ranged holo killer, melee no affiliation killer. I definitely don't need that. If I do put on this banner, which I likely won't be, it will be strictly because of who the characters are. Now, June mid-month usually would be a very easy skip in most years, but given what they did last year with the remake of Mugetsu, we could get something similar again this year. A remake of a past anime character, my assumption would be Full Hollow Riot, because his remake is definitely long overdue. And if we were to get that, I likely will be summoning, of course, but at the same time, I'm more inclined to summon even more because we are potentially getting a ranged Sternritter killer, which I definitely do want. So for me, in terms of orbs that are being saved right now, it is for end of month April and mid-month June. Any other banner upcoming, likely going to be skipping it. With that said, for those that stuck around to the end, if you do want some potential hints for the upcoming mid-month banner of April, the upcoming mid-month is going to be 2 characters based off of a filler episode. Technically canon, it's premium. It will feature 2 male characters, 1 no affiliation, 1 human. It's not going to be the most exciting banner, but it might be a bit of fun. 1 should be a new character, 1 should be a remake. And even though one of the characters is a remake, it will be the first time they are ever summonable. So hopefully that narrows it down and maybe you can decipher who that will potentially be. We'll find out in less than 12 hours if I am posting this video on the 15th. If the characters themselves got posted on Reddit already, this video will be delayed until like the 17th, 18th. And by this point, the characters will already get revealed. So was I right? Let's find out. I really hope you liked the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.